For Valentine's Day, I always like to try to create hearts out of flowers, but I also want them to be sustainable. So that's meaning they have to be in water. So in order to do that, there's some fun tricks and techniques that you can do, but one of them that I really like is using heather. And you could use other products with this. You could very easily do it with Genestra or any type of linear flower that is a little bit flexible. Even foliages like spring rye or foxtail fern, even ruscus, things like that. So it can be done very easily with this. And it's just like taking two linear pieces and putting them halfway on an 18 gauge wire. So it's taking that tip of the heather, and I'm just going to start just by wrapping it on, and we're just going to work it down. And I'm just using bouillon. So you could still even use a florist wire if you wanted to, because it really kind of dissipates and you really don't see it. But I'm going to wrap that down to the end of the 18 gauge wire and then come back up again. And of course, the fuller your stem is, the more dominant that it's going to be. And then I'm going to add the other one to the other side. So we just take that and wrap that bouillon around. Get some bouillon here, there we go. And just pull it on tight, making sure that it's all secure. And we just want to be able to bend this so we can put it into a heart shape. That's the whole emphasis behind this. It's just bending it and making it work. And I like using a decorative wire just because then I don't have to worry about it showing. It's going to show, it's fine, it's intended to, and that's the thing. You make it intentional or not, one of the two. So I'm just going to go then all the way down to the other side with my heather wrapping and finish that off. Just a couple times to that end. That off. And then I have two pieces that I can bend and put into my foam. So with that, what I've done is taking the heart, the heather heart, and just formed it into a heart shape. So then we've got this flexibility with that, so you're able to do that. And then it goes into the foam, and then it's got a water source, so it's going to last just as long as your flowers are going to last. And that gives us that dominance in the very center. So a focal area there is centered right around this heart. Our design is going to be centered around this heart. And I've got lots of negative space that we're going to create that gives us that lightness, that depth that we want to create. All right, so then we're going to add to this. And I want to add some additional heather just because we've got it there. You have to repeat it again. So I'm just going to kind of come up to the sides with some more heather just to emphasize this. I have just a nice bowl. You can use any type of container that you want to that's going to work for this. And I always like to have something a little bit elevated so that it kind of emphasizes that heart just a little bit more. Some cute little heather tucked here and there to emphasize this heart that we've created. And again, if I was going to use ruscus, then I would definitely have ruscus coming out to the side. If I was going to use spring rye, same type of thing. Repeating the product from one side to the other makes it stand out. Now you could add ribbon, you could do all kinds of things with this if you really wanted to. That's totally up to you. I'm just going to continue a little bit. I'm going to add some ivy to this and then we'll add some flowers to it. Ivy is another one I really like to use. If you want it to last a long time, if you use some type of clear acrylic floor wax, that works for that. If you just dip it and let it dry, it holds very well. So using that gives me that confidence that my designs are going to be long lasting, and that's what we want. There's nothing worse than a customer getting flowers that don't last. So make sure that you do that. That's important to me, is making sure that we're giving our consumers a great product that's going to be durable for them. Especially at this time of year when Valentine's Day is around. I've been known to take people out of the checkout line at the grocery store and take them back to the floral area in the grocery store and say, you don't want this one, you need to change it out to a better product. So, knowing that, it's helping our consumers any way that we can. So I'm going to add some tulips to this, and I kind of want to frame this just a bit. Now tulips are a little finicky. They're going to grow no matter what, so you got to let them grow. So give them that space to grow. Allow them to do that. It's their intention, so let that happen. Let's shorten you down a bit. Processing tulips is another thing that I've learned from Sun Valley, is that you don't cut any bulbs when you get them in from your wholesaler. So just take them and put them right directly into water, and they will open up beautifully. Iris, hyacinths, all of these products. You don't have to cut them until you design with them. And then you can create some beautiful things. All right, so I'm going to go here just to create this beautiful line movement that emphasizes this heart. And then we're going to come back and add a little bit more foliage. So I get some variegation in here. And then we're going to add some other additional colors. I do want to pull the white from the container up into the design. Again, that's repetition, that's color repetition, making sure that that pattern is created with that, and it's important that you do that. So make sure that you pull that color up. So we're going to use some Lisianthus, and I'm just going to pull a bloom and use them shorter, right down into that very center. Again, this is a basing technique, just to pull your eye right down to that very base. Tuck them in, give them some life. Pull that color down to that heart so your eye is drawn right down into that very center. Right now, before we put that white in, the Lisianthus in, your eye went right to the container, and we don't want that. We want to be able to pull it. I'm going to add a few carnations here. Pull it in and make it come to the design and not just the container. Now you can, if you want it to be, that can be your emphasis. If you want it to show the container, great. Just do that, just make it stand out. But if you don't, if you want the emphasis to be the design, then make sure that you do that. Make sure that it comes to that focal area in the design. The focal is anywhere you want to draw your eye. It can be anywhere. I want to pull mine right to the base of the heart, so that's why it's there. A couple other stems of Lizzie, and I think we'll be done with this. So you can see then that framework stands out. The tulips are going to grow, do what they want to do. They're going to open up beautifully. Let them do that. Our emphasis is the heart for Valentine's Day. Just some great ideas that you can do to kind of make you different than what everybody else is doing. So have fun with Valentine's Day.